5 minutes answer.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Okay,
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah.
No aircon today.
No aircon. Okay, I switch you.
No. It's okay.
Give me one. Very fast.
Pardon?
Give me. Try this one.
Shanghai one. Only friend? Shanghai Rocker.
introduce you and then start the conversation.
Okay, today we are very honored to have Dr. Brad Max. Okay, the last seminar he conducted was we have a huge viewerships online. So nowadays, right, all our seminars are all based online. That means to say, if you can go into the YouTube right now, over there, right, you can actually see that you can watch it at the comfort of your home, or you can actually review it again. So all our seminars, whether yesterday night our WeChat marketings, tonight itself our Instagram classes, you can simply go online, you can share. And among the people itself, right, we are giving out free gift and lucky draw. Meaning to say, if you actually share out the video itself, right, okay, you have a chance to win free gift and lucky draw. So we got about close to 10,000 of this packet of oral sunblocks for you. So simply share it out to your friends, okay, and we know later, okay, we will actually give you this oral sunblock itself. So these are all the free gifts that we actually start to actually prepare for all of you. Hopefully with more lucky draws and tickets, okay, coming up. So without further ado itself, today we are all here to learn from Dr. Max. Last seminar, the ultimate sleep workshop, is a very wonderful and good seminar. Today itself, right, he's going to teach us the Superwoman Syndrome workshop. Okay, let's go ahead and welcome Dr. Max.
Good afternoon, folks. Normally when I teach a workshop like this, there's often more women than men, but we'll make it work nonetheless, because I'm sure either women here can identify with this term, but gentlemen, just from a show of hands, who's married? Raise some hands if you're married or in a relationship. All right, okay, so good. So I'm going to speak as though that your wives are here, and they're equally as important. You're a representative of them as well, too. Now, here's where I'm talking from. I'm a physician. I've been a doctor for 14 years. I'm a physician, I'm a father, I'm a husband as well. But this is actually very clear and very dear and close to me, because something that has been affecting my life, I believe, is also affecting other people's lives as well. So just bear with me. And I want you guys to do an exercise together. It's going to be interactive. I'm going to ask you guys to fill out this form very shortly. But this is going to be interactive. Now, here's what I need you to do for me. I want you to close your eyes. I want everybody to close their eyes. Now, I guys want you to picture being in a situation. If you're female, you're 21 years of age. If you're male, then this is your girlfriend, your fiance. Imagine at 21, 20-year-old female, and your body doesn't feel right. It feels awkward, starts to gain weight. Right? It almost feels as though you're pregnant, but you're not. You have no understanding, no reason why to understand you should feel pregnant. Now, I want you now to picture being in a doctor's office, close your eyes, being told that the reason why you're going through this change is because you have a tumor in your brain that's on a gland, that's pressing on a gland, and you have two options. One option is to remove the tumor by going through the nose, breaking through the skull, going through the nose, and removing it, not being given a guarantee that it'll get all the tumor removed, or giving you a medication that's going to shrink the tumor, but it also ruin your chances of having kids. Imagine being in that spot, being told you either have a surgery with no guarantee, or you have to go on medication for the rest of your life, in which this medication can cause birth defects. Okay, open up your eyes. It's very grilling to imagine that, to feel that. Or especially if you have a significant other or a wife, imagine being next to that person who hears that news. There's a happy ending to this, but this is where the Superwoman Syndrome came from, going through this experience. Because has anybody ever heard the term Superwoman Syndrome? Does that sound familiar? Okay. Men, this is brand new. Ladies, ever heard that term before? You nod your head? Yes. Now, it sounds as though it's something that we're celebrating.
Do you have the right one?
Do I have the right? No,
Yeah,
I don't.
there you go.
Okay. So that sounds like a title that people want to celebrate. Great, I'm married to a Superwoman. She can do everything, right? It's like a superhero title. But think of it this way. Nowadays, often people use that as a badge of honor. Because you can do the same thing that men do, right? Do the same thing that you can have the career, have the children, have the successful business that has 6 or 7 figures coming in every single year, and have the career that you want. Is that common in Singapore? Is that expectation there for women in Singapore very good? I'm asking you guys because I'm from the US, that's very typical. But here in Singapore and Southeast Asia, is that something that now is a growing trend? Yeah, it is? Okay. And husbands, do you see your wives under pressure to perform at work and be a wife and be a mother as well too? Yeah. So I see that happening, the career drive. I see the drive to have more, aspire more, to have the bigger flat, have the bigger home, have more vacations, to acquire more, to have the drive to be the perfect parent, perfect mom, quote unquote, the tiger mom. So is it possible to have all those things? Absolutely. There are some women that are having it all, doing it all. Some women are doing it well. But the problem is it's a small fraction of them that is actually doing it well. And most women, what I've seen that pass my doors, on that journey, trying to get there, but there's a cost. Let me explain to you what that cost is. Because yes, you can have it all. You can do the exact same thing as men do and probably do more. But here's where the cost is happening right now. The reality is this. For cardiovascular diseases, the more women experience cardiovascular disease than men nowadays. Okay. When we have strokes, women are more likely to die from complications of stroke than men. Women nowadays actually have more, they die from secondary complications from diabetes more often than men. The last statistic, which really is more disturbing for me, and I think it's disturbing for women as well, is the fact that women are 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with depression than men. So, gentlemen, if you go to the doctor and you say to the doctor, doc, I feel tired, I feel sick, I feel lethargic, the doctor's going to say, go out and exercise, or try this pill, or it's just being a man. If a woman goes to the doctor with the exact same problems, she's 4 times more likely to be prescribed a drug, assuming that she's got a mental disorder, or mental problems, or a medication. And that's not okay with me, folks. So we got to make this change here, and this is why we do this talk, the Superwoman Syndrome. It's happening. I believe it's a dilemma that if we don't address it soon enough, we're going to see more serious problems, and some of these problems I see come through my door as a chiropractor. So yes, fast tracks for careers, more challenging to have children. The trade-off is this. There's a big business called fertility. The business of fertility is a big business. Because women right now are having a harder time to conceive versus 30, 40 years ago. You guys believe that? Is that true? Yeah. $12,000, $50,000 for fertility treatments. Just to chance. Not a guaranteed chance to try to have children. Okay. Big business. Women are actually working longer hours, working harder, pushing harder, but also delaying their fertile years and trying to have kids later on in life. This is all part of that Superwoman Syndrome, all packaged together. You can have it all, but there's a cost. And the cost is this. Saying, hey, you know what? I don't have enough time. I think we all have enough time. Would you agree? Yeah? If God gave you an extra hour in the day, and this is for everybody, men and women, if God gave an extra 1 hour a day, do you think we're going to actually be more productive that 1 hour? No. I think we're going to fill it up with something else that we don't need to fill it up with. In reality, that's reality. So now, don't necessarily need more time, but we have to prioritize what's important to us in the days that we have, the times that we have. I want to try and exercise with everybody. This may work. I haven't done this before in Asia here, but and the exercise is this. I'm going to go back to that slide here. I want everybody to pull out a pen or pencil, something to write with. And everybody should have a sheet like this. I want you guys to write on the back of this sheet. Okay? Grab a pen, write on the back of the sheet. And I want you to take the time. I'm going to give you guys a minute. Write down 5, normally we do this a list of 10, but I want you guys to list 5 things, 5 goals you want to see aspire to over the next 10 years. It might be health, might be finances, might be family. 5 specific goals. And I'm talking to the right group because this is a group of business like-minded people here who understand the importance of goals. So write down 5 goals that you have for yourself, for business, and also for your own personal well-being. Write down 5 goals. Take you a few moments to write this up. Normally I ask people to write 10, but we don't always have the time to write 10. We might have a hard time coming more than just 6, so 5 is the easiest one to do. Just from a show of hands, who's written down those 5 goals already? We're still writing them down? Okay, give me another
I
couple more
have
seconds.
2, I've written the 2.
Sorry?
I have 2 goals, I've written the 2.
Okay, you only have 2 goals? Okay, let's start from there. 2 goals. So an example goal would be to either weight loss or opportunity to go on that trip to Greece or Spain or a different country, or to visit Disneyland, or to skydive, or to do something that you're passionate about, or to try, or to attend a festival, or to celebrate your son's or daughter's wedding, or some. These are tangible goals. These are realistic goals. Okay. So now, my next question for you guys is: in your today list, on your to-do list that you have, that you wake up with every morning, how many of these goals are in line with the tasks you do every single day? If it's 1, good for you. If it's 0, then we got a problem. We have these goals for ourselves, that's really important for us, but are we doing something every single day that heads us in that direction? If the answer is no, then you're in the right place. This is what we want to get to. Okay. We want our lives to be models for our kids. We want our kids to be thriving. We want them to be healthy. We want them to be full, complete people. We want them to be contributing members of society. We want them to be a whole. But if we want them to be a whole, they're not going to learn it from school. They're going to learn it from us as adults, as individuals. And ladies, what type of daughters, what type of woman do you want your girls to grow up into? They're not going to learn it from school. They're not going to learn it from the books or the TV. The strongest influence is always going to be the mother at home. Okay? The strongest influence is always going to be you. As a father, the strongest influence I'm going to have in my kids' lives is my behavior, my habits, with what they see. So are we living and making the choices, making decisions, making lifestyles that our kids can follow? If we want our kids to be healthy, we want our kids to be healthy and whole, are you healthy and whole and balanced? Are you pursuing your goals? It's a tough question to ask adults because it forces us to take the mirror to our own lives and say, wow, maybe I'm not the temple of perfection. Maybe I'm not the temple of health, but I have people around me that are looking up to me, looking for guidance, looking for the template. So maybe this is where it starts today. How to start creating and forming the template for the next generation who's looking at you to follow. Now this becomes more significant. Now I believe that I want to start capturing your mind, start thinking about your own selves, your own health differently. So that exercise. Here's what gets in the way of, if we look at that list, and I know that you've wrote it down today, but I know for a lot of people, they have that list inside their mind, ongoing. They have in the back of their mind going, oh, here's something I know I wish I got to do, or I know I have to do, or I want to get to it someday later. But we keep on thinking of what it could have, should have, it creates guilt. And one thing I've noticed over the last couple of decades is that women hold on to guilt much longer than men. Ladies, would you agree? Inherently, women hold on to guilt much longer than men. Men inherently know how to dismiss it, check the brains to another part of the channel, switch it off, and put it aside. But women tend to carry stuff that's current and stuff from the past. Case in point, think of your own relationship with your mother or your grandmother. You guys can think of stories or certain words or phrases that have been used to in dialogue that reflects guilt in their own lives. So it gets repeated if you see that. but you don't know how to break that cycle. That guilt shows up and affects your health. It's like having an extra passenger in your car, and your car only seats 5, but then guilt is that 6th passenger that you drive around all the time that don't need to. Okay. What about stress? Is it possible to avoid stress? No, absolutely not. Even Richard Branson, one of the world's richest billionaires in the world, has different types of stresses. Yes, he has money, he's got his own plane, but when you have that much responsibility, you have also more stresses, different stresses. So acquiring more money doesn't mean you're going to be stress-free. So we can't really avoid stress. What we can do is adapt to it. I want to paint this picture, folks. I want you guys to picture being stuck in traffic on the PIE. Has everybody been in that situation before, right? Stuck in traffic. You're in the car, and I just got to illustrate this. This is what it looks like. Might be a situation you've been into. Either you've been a passenger or a driver. And you're in the car, and it's 5:30 or 6, and you're late for a meeting. And you're hungry because you worked all day. And you're thirsty because you want something to drink. When you hear your phone ringing, it's been ringing all day, and you start to feel a bit tight because you've been sitting all day at work. And then you hear that phone ring, and your kids call and say, "Daddy, we're hungry." All right, listen, and you put down the phone because you want to let them know that you're going to get to them later, right? Or whatever the call is, you hear that ring, it creates stress. And you're stuck in traffic. Traffic's not going anywhere, and you're late. Has anybody been in that situation before? Right? You're stuck in traffic, you're not moving, and you're late, and it feels stressful. You look to the car to the left, look to the car to the right, everybody's exactly in the same traffic. But occasionally, there's one other person in another vehicle. Same traffic, same situation, and here's what you see. They're having their own karaoke party inside the car. Same traffic, same scenario, end of the day, but the difference is how they choose to respond and react to stress. We can't avoid the stress. We can't defend ourselves against stresses, but you can equip yourself to be able to handle it and buffer it differently. So it starts with here. How can I handle that moment, right? Now, are you stuck in traffic because everybody's just lousy drivers, or are you stuck in traffic because someone had a car accident ahead, and all the cars are backed up, and now your life is spared because you now have the opportunity to be grateful, or it's raining. Everybody complains about the rain. Everybody gets wet. It's inconvenient. In the same token, you go to the outskirts of Singapore, to the farmland area, you go to certain other parts of the country, or even Malaysia. You ask a farmer, and it's raining. They're saying, "Thank you," right? So they welcome the rain. We see it as a stress. We say, we need an umbrella. So you got to see the situations differently. Okay? When we don't see the situation differently, it creates stress. We create a pattern of a fight or flight response in our bodies. And ladies, the fight or flight response in your body is different than a fight or flight response in men. Right? We sometimes feel it in our lower backs. We start to get tight and tired, or we have labored breathing. In ladies, it's a lot more subtle. Okay? And the subtlety of that fight or flight response is not just feeling tight, but also affects anything that's connected to your nervous system. Because your nervous system controls everything. I want you guys to try this out for a second. I want everybody to sit up in the chair, please. So your back is off the chair. Now I want everybody to wiggle their toes. Wiggle your toes. Now move your fingers. Okay, now roll your shoulders. All right, under conscious control. Okay. Now I want you to place one hand on your chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. You're feeling your lungs work. Place your hand a bit more to your left. Now, feel your heartbeat. Your heart's working without you thinking about it. So your conscious brain is telling your feet to move. The unconscious brain is now making your heart move, your lungs move. So all these different functions of your body relies on your nervous system. So you can bring your hands down now. So I just want you guys to understand this. How interconnected, how much your nervous system controls every single cell, tissue, organ in your body. When you're under stress, it changes all those signals. It changes how you look. It changes how you breathe. It changes your blood pressure. It changes how your muscles fire or relax. It changes your diaphragm that instead of breathing from here, you start to breathe from the shoulders, which also changes your posture. Okay? And it's very subtle. You may not feel stressed, but your body can make changes to look stressed or to Or when you lie on our table, we can feel it in your spine. So the connection point is this, and one, I'm a chiropractor who specializes in spine and nervous system health, neuromusculoskeletal health for people. It's this: everything that you do right now, the fact that you're listening to me, the fact that you're able to sit in your chair, depends on the signals getting through from your brain, through your spine, all the way to your arms, hands, feet, toes, heart, lungs. But the main conduit is your spine, is your nervous system. So think of your spinal cord as an electrical board, okay? Or the electrical panel they have at home. Everybody has one. If a switch goes off, do you want to replace the appliance, or do you want to check the switch first? Which one makes more sense? You check the switch first. So think of your spine as series switches. Now, when the switch goes off, then we start to have symptoms. It's not always pain. The most common switches that get shut off that affect your health and well-being on this sheet. All right? And I want everybody just to take time to look at this sheet here. So I have a couple of most common signals that your body gives you when these switches are off. Common signal is tension, tiredness, fatigue, trouble sleeping, or getting a full night's sleep, irregular menses, they're coming and going and not happening on a regular basis, unable to concentrate or focus at home or at work, or if you're a student, unable to study, sinus troubles, frequent colds and flus, digestive troubles, mean that you're not having, if you're not having more than one bowel movement a day, that's a problem. Headaches, migraines, they're common, they're not normal. Neck pain, neck ache, common but not normal. Okay? Low back pain, shoulder pain, hip and joint pain. All these are signals that your body's telling you, letting you know that there might be one of those switches off. Now, those signals can be turned off because of how you sit, how you drive, how you sleep, or how you fall down and injury in the past. But another underlying cause of those signals is stress. And with Superwoman syndrome, I want to talk about this because some of these signals I see more frequently, more rampantly in women than men nowadays. Because what happens is this: when men have these signals, we complain, like say, "Honey, I feel sick," and often men are babies. When we get sick, we complain. The whole world knows that we're sick. But when mothers get sick, we don't hear about it because they're concerned about the kids, they're concerned with the husband, they're concerned about others, and they put themselves last until that turns into something that goes beyond just a body ache and pain. It goes to the organ shutting down and failing. And that's what we want to try to prevent and avoid, is if you can catch a person, either a woman or a spouse or a daughter that you know, that at that stage of heading toward that Superwoman syndrome, of trying to have it all, let's not make sure that they sacrifice their body in that journey. Now, here's where we come in to help with this. And here's what my specialty is. If you have a healthy spine, then you have a healthy nervous system. If you have an unhealthy spine, then everything inside of it is going to be unhealthy as well. Healthy spine also allows your body to adapt to stress better. So think of your spine as a buffer. Think of your spine as a cushion. When you're under stress and you have poor posture, you no longer have that cushion. Now, anything that you do, how you move, how you sit, you don't have anything protecting the connection that goes towards the rest of the body. So when you're looking at the two pictures here, the picture on the left is when your spine has a curve in your neck, mid-back, and lower back. Do you know if you have a curve in your neck? Do you know if you have a curve in your mid-back or lower back? Can you tell just from looking at me if I have a curve? Can or cannot? Cannot, you can't. I can't tell if you have a curve or not. I can tell, I can get an idea based upon your posture of how you sit or where your ears and shoulders are relative to the rest of your body. But the only way you and I can tell is by getting one of those pictures done for yourself. So, what kind of spine do you have? What kind of spine are you living in, or are you working with right now? What is your spine doing? Is it protecting you, like the spine on the left? Or it's slowly damaging and blocking those signals that take healing, like the spine in the picture on the right? So I want you guys to ask yourself that. If you've never had this done, find out how do you figure out what type of spine that you have. So, is your spine, and this is an overall question for everybody, is your spine affecting your overall wellness and well-being? You may not know until we have this discussion, until we talked about these signals. There might be this disruption of these signals because of your spine. And these are the most common conditions on the sheet are the ones that we see often related to the nervous system. Often a lot more. The most common ones that we've encountered in Singapore in the business setting, in the white-collar work setting, are the ones that I've listed down here. So we call them subluxations. Any type of interference in your spine that affects nerves robs you of your full quality of life. Those signals are the very first signs of subluxations. Not always pain, but we look for those signals by asking a whole lot of questions like this question here. But it's important for you to find out if your spine has any type of pressures or blockages so we can remove them, or show which ones how to remove, and how you can live your lifestyle differently so that you can keep the pressure off your nerves and allow your brain-body connection to work properly. So that brain-body connection is essentially your lifeline. So folks, this is my superwoman. The person I was talking about before was my wife. Still is my wife. We've been married for 18 years. Now, the two girls, one is now 12, the other is going to be 6 next month. The 12-year-old wasn't supposed to be born. When my wife was 21, she was given the diagnosis that she had a prolactinoma, a tumor on her pituitary gland. And they gave her the choice, either a medication for the rest of her life that's going to give birth defects, or we have to go through the nose, break open the cartilage of your brain, and then try to remove the tumor. We're not going to guarantee we're going to get all of it. So, can you imagine being robbed of hope? And that's where she was at. But this is before we knew anything about chiropractic or the nervous system or the same information that we know right now. Here's what's the good news. She did not accept that diagnosis as an absolute. She said, there's got to be more. I deserve more in life. There's got to be more to life. There's got to be more to my health. There's got to be a different answer, a different way of looking at how my body can work. And that's where we can pursue the path that what I'm living right now. She's also a chiropractor, but we didn't really understand how much it's all interconnected until we finished our school, until we graduated, until we finished 8 years of education, of undergrad, and 5 years of, the doctorate program. And then we actually got ourselves checked. She found her spine was actually in a negative position, very similar to that spine on the left that you saw, or the spine on the right. She had a negative 12-degree curve, and it looked like a banana. Hers looked like a sugar cane. She was given the diagnosis that you weren't supposed to have kids. I'm not going to say that chiropractic, cures infertility, but the only thing that's missing in her life, because she was a superwoman, she was pleasing everybody, saying yes to everything. She's a person that was able to who was able to multitask. And you have somebody in your life that's actually a go-to person that does everything, doesn't say no to everybody, volunteering, has many plates spending at any given time. But there's that stress state. And that stress state also interfered with her health, well-being, ability to have kids. So when we got her neck corrected, she got a series of adjustments over time, over a couple of months. All right, and it wasn't about the pain. She was pain-free. But what changed was mostly was that after that first course of care, and we got her spine corrected, then we conceived. After being told that A, you're going to have to be in this medication for the rest of your life, and B, you're going to have birth defects. But the only way you can conceive is if the tumor shrunk. 9 months later, we had our first daughter. And I remember holding my daughter in my arms saying, wow, you weren't supposed to be born, you weren't supposed to be here. She was in our arms because we felt and we believed the principle that you guys understand right now. Your body has a greater capacity to heal itself. There's a greater inborn intelligence that needs to be released, but if there's a blockage somewhere along your spine, along your health, that's not going to happen. You're not going to find out what your true potential is. So this is more of a call out, a challenge to those supermoms, superwomen, or the gentlemen who are married to those superwomen that are right now having it all, juggling many plates on the schedule. But they also know that their health is not functioning at 100%. Today is an opportunity to start putting yourself first. That's not selfish, it's being self-full. Not selfish, but be self-full. And that's going to be more empowering for you when you start to say, if my health is a priority, then my kids are going to learn how to make their health a priority. My husband is going to learn to make himself a health a priority. Women are kind of like the hub of a wheel. You can have all the spokes, the kids are the spokes, but without the hub, nothing works. Does that make sense? Gentlemen, would you agree with that? Would our lives be miserable if our wives just went on strike, did not move, didn't do anything for us? Yes, we would barely function to live. But more importantly here, this for ladies, for you to start prioritizing yourselves. Start paying attention to those signals that lets you know that it's time to prioritize your health first. Is everybody with me on this one? Yeah. So I never share that story. I haven't shared that story for a couple of years because a lot of people want facts and figures, and more importantly, they want to see what's the degrees does a person correct with their spine. Here, plain and simple as this. You're better off living with pressure off your nervous system than pressure on your nervous system. You're better off living balanced than off balanced. You're better off living with movement and flexibility than with stiffness. But people don't know this until they get checked. So I'm here to give everybody an opportunity, that first step, to take that next step. If you feel that's long overdue, I'm here for you. In fact, my team is here for you. I got my team members, Derek and Sue, over back here. Okay. So for those who have been listening and say, Doc, you made some good points here. I got a question about my own health or my family members' health. Then I'd love to be able to spend more time with you in person. Can't really do it in the room all together here because everybody's got to rush. But I want to spend more time one-on-one with a consultation with you, like individually, either for yourself or for the person that you care about. If you are interested in finding time together with me to figure out how we can help you get your full potential achieved and get your health achieved, then let's set it a time, right? And my team behind me, Derek and Sue, will sit down and discuss exactly what we can do to help you. Right? I have some spots that I set aside just for the people I meet from this workshop, these talks. So for those who are serious about their own health, want some questions answered, let's talk. And an opportunity to get yourself checked and at least have that consultation time together. Because a lot of people have concerns, and it's not really the best place to talk about the concerns here, but one-on-one we can. I want to make myself available too. So, that's my time, folks. I got around to another appointment. If you are interested in finding out how you can be healthier, talk to Sue, talk to Dr. Derek. That's my time. I'm Dr. Brent Maxwell. Thank you. Sorry? We were adjusting her spine and nervous. She was getting adjusted. She got her own spine herniation covered. Okay. So I didn't cure her, but all we did was this. We saw her spine that was damaged, that was blocked. We restored the alignment. Now her nervous system started to work better. So when the nerves started to work better for the brain, everything else connected to the nervous system. So we didn't cure anything, but if the nerves work better, then her body healed. It started to heal itself. So the tumor disappeared? Right. The tumor was no longer in the way of allowing her to heal. So it got small. So that's what happened. So that's the reason why I make this part of my lifestyle. Because I want people to have the same opportunity. That's my niceness. They don't know anything different.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Max. Okay, lunch is served right now. Help us out with some food down here. Thank you very much.
Take it up.
Yes, right here. We have it here for you.
Okay, sure. I'll get on that. Thanks. Yeah, I
I'm not from Vietnam. I was born in the States. Yes. But I am if you're talking about my family, my family was my a long time ago my grandparents were from the north. And then my parents were from the south. And then my parents were from okay. Cool. What state is he? New York? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm from the other coast. Same way with me and Mandarin. I didn't speak Vietnamese. It's getting there. I've been running into a lot more people.
Hi, Josie. I mean, you can speak Vietnamese, then like.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a couple of Vietnamese patients. It's kind of cool. But it's always a shock when I speak Vietnamese too.
Speak a few sentences of Vietnamese.
It depends. You come into the clinic, I speak Vietnamese too.
What? I have to go to the clinic just to check.
This is chicken.
No beef. 100% no beef.
Hello. Hey, how are you? Good, yourself? Good. Wait, are you still needing the contact for the
Not spin.
Like, sorry for the delay because it's like, I think I lost contact something like that. Yeah, okay, awesome. I have no idea, you might have to ask Mr. Zhou. 周总，什么来的？这是什么来的？
This is also chicken.
Chicken, chicken. 狗央食是吧？狗央是 no beef one. No beef. 来，周天 no beef. 我找你的会。
Oh, you and your wife. Yes. I know the Actually, I don't like the camera angle. No good. Because the resolution, this is smaller, that one, you expand then it of course gets blurred. Wait, did you see me at Expo? No, right? So you are the one who... Yeah. I went for one of the Expo events. Because some people like say, oh, I saw Sharon at Expo. Who is the guy from the Zhou Sang that he saw me? Oh, 原来是他。Actually, I don't have to appeal to you. I just spoke.
Whoever that is here to conduct the meeting.
How are you, John?
Last 90 days, 4 times. Create bio. Sharing the moment that we are live down here, share, passes out. Hopefully it becomes the culture that people remember that there's a show down here.
You might want to give me a list because I'm reading. Yeah. I'm rushing from face to face these days, so...
Today is session 2 plus.
Today's session 2 plus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my intention actually. I don't know, we switch on. Oh no, it's okay.
late, right? This I've just finished the seminar, but we have it online. Hey, hi. How are you? Okay. Which slice?
Why so mysterious?
You know the TCG?
Yes. Why so mysterious? Why so mysterious?
That's another one. US. You can change any cryptocurrency.
Huh?
The crypto club one is that? No. I don't know the market.
Every day you make like few cents. You get like few cents every day.
You know MKG?
Let me see what I can
Like you are doing your forex.
No. I'm not. The youngest mostly are more because I'm concerned about environment. So we
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Where is goodbye in Vietnamese?
Goodbye.
Come on.
Xin chào.
Xin chào.
Oh no, thank you. If I
Yeah,
eat at home, she's yeah.
再见。再见。
Just thinking of my head.
Okay, I texted you. So this is the link.
Thanks, guys.
In case you want to.
Alright, see you. Bye, Felicia.
Great advertisement. So more people know about it.
I don't know whether like
Just
You
give
won't,
me
alright.
It goes strong, don't worry. End of the month, they are having a big one.
I also hope so they go strong on
I like the way you did this.
I realize
Because you guys are
people every month every month I think that's the way. Because it's really like look at one of the bonds, right?
Don't establish this model, please. Please, no. You're going to destroy your own credibility in the marketplace. You're going to destroy your own credibility in the marketplace. If you're going to adapt this model. Other people are doing that, doesn't mean you have to do that, man.
Hey bro,
The food is good. I'm just too full. The speaker has left. Hey, the assistant also talk already. Oh my god.
tomorrow
Sorry?
tomorrow come down.
What is it about?
阿周啊，阿周。
I wake up.
对presentation 的总参会。
我要去吗？不用了，你们去不行啊，又
She doing booty one, so you want to invest can invest. That one I think the quite okay business model, but if you really want to see the feasibility of the business model, right, go to her shop and try out her patients. I don't know got if he can help me to earn money in the Nongsan Hui. Then I will go and try out. I told him, I told him. Serious or you are trained to do facials?
I think
Yeah, during the class.
I do good patients.
I think why not we all you all those your old friend all these Ronnie all your own company all holding company. No? Then you all sit down and think of something to do together. I think it will work.
I'm doing good already.
Then maybe
I'm sorry, I have my own things to do. Thanks for the recommendation. Spice whatever.
You all put all your eat in one company, then you all will grow, you all all influencer, you all all what? You know,
Yeah, she's an influencer.
This is a hardcore networker.
if you bring all the influencers and expertise to one corner, you know what? People you will
Chaos, it will be chaotic.
then you can bring people like what? David Lee lah, Violet Yap lah.
Oh my god, no! No!
All these people are all one
This is
corner.
a mixed up revolutionary.
I don't want to know, but I think they all together one, but that one, this will be the most powerful Singapore celebrity.
No, Wow, that one was really crazy. That one really crazy. She has a lot of chit chat. I left some because I don't feel comfortable.
Anything that back 是人找的。
Too many good chats. I found this new group
我是
chat.
很喜欢笑的。
So what's the problem?
Serious bipolar, she's from yeah.
She's so proud of it. Oh, the one of the method is order.
No, she prefer to